Hey, I'm Anthony J, and I'm going to review the spoiler version of Suicide Squad. This is the spoiler version of Suicide Squad. If you have not seen the movie, I recommend you do it. And two, I do have a spoiler free version if you want to check it out in the link down below. To start off the film, we are given character bios, all introduced by Amanda Waller as she's dining with some military general, I'm assuming. I don't know. She's eating her steak, and it's red because Amanda Waller is a beast like that. And as she's going over the character description, it also shows how they were taken down. So this is where you're going to get your cameos from. It starts off by showing him doing one of his mercenary assignments. He's speaking to his, at the moment, employer, demanding for the wire transfer into his bank account. It's showing only $18.99, and he tells the employer he's not going to open fire and snipe a potential rat. So the guy on the phone agrees to $1 million, but then Deadshot demands $2 million for wasting its time, and the employer actually sends $2 million. Which, I gotta say, it's funny for a guy that makes millions for his jobs. Does he end up with just $18.99 to begin with? That must be like a lot of child support. It shows him sniping the potential rat, the snitch, and it shows him later with his daughter walking down an alley. They have some shopping bags. He loves his daughters, clearly. He's spoiling her. But Batman, played by, once again, Ben Affleck, shows up and just beats up Deadshot. And Deadshot's about to open fire, and the little girl begs him to give up because she's crying and she doesn't want to see her father go down a dark path. And it's touching because she's crying in his arms as they're waiting for the police to show up. Now, my friend Vince, the inspiration for the Anthonyx Maximus, Vincent, we saw the movie together, and he mentioned that it has a potential tie-in to like the fact that Batman got his start from his parents being murdered in an alleyway. So it might parallel that because, of course, Batman fights many enemies in the alley, but this one in particular had his daughter with him, so, and a gun is involved, so it's kind of like a reflection of that. I understand where he's coming from. Then Amanda Waller goes and talks about Killer Croc, half man, half crocodile, born with a deformity that makes him eat people and behaves like a crocodile. He is captured in the sewers, that's it. And then we go and talk about El Diablo, and then we are shown Captain Boomerang, played by Jai Courtney. Now, Captain Boomerang in this film is more of a comedic role, I think. Kind of like a don't care kind of attitude, but very funny about it. By the way, excuse the noise. I'm in a different location this time, and being in Queens, we're right between two airports, so there's a lot of commotion. I apologize ahead of time. Jai Courtney, though, plays Captain Boomerang. It shows him trying to do a diamond heist, and the cameo that not many people expected, I kind of knew because, internet doesn't know how to shut up, was the Flash. Played by Ezra Miller. And in the brief moment that the Flash is there, he does a very good job. I believe him as Barry Allen. What I don't like is the outfit. It's like pieces of metal to make the Flash. I would think that would be more annoying to someone who already can speed, but whatever. Uh, and then, of course, we have Harley Quinn shown, and Amanda Waller goes into her backstory a bit further, where it shows her start off as Dr. Harleen Quinzel, Joker's psychiatrist who ends up falling in love with the Joker, and then it shows the Joker in the middle of an Arkham Asylum riot capture her and give her some shock therapy, and then she just becomes Harley Quinn, and it shows her in a car being chased with the Joker driving, and once again Batman shows up, jumps on a roof, and Joker crashes the car over the ledge because Joker is insane like that. And you hear Harley Quinn shouting she can't swim, so when Batman dives in after them into the water, you only see her passed out, in a, under the water, underwater. Joker is nowhere to be found. And even though it seems like she's passed out, Batman approaches, she gets up and tries to swat a knife at him, and he punches her underwater. I mean, she had a knife, so come on, she had it coming. Batman takes her up to the surface and tries to give her CPR, and then she, of course, kisses him because, funny girl. And once Amanda Waller gets approved to start her Suicide Squad to send them on a mission, she has everyone at Belle Reve round up Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, Captain Boomerang, Slipknot, El Diablo. And their mission actually is to try to take down Enchantress. Her backstory is that she was an archaeologist that uncovered a Mayan relic. If it's Aztec, I'm sorry, I'm really bad at that kind of stuff. And the relic unleashes the witch Enchantress, takes over the archaeologist's body, and at some point Rick Flag meets the archaeologist and they fall in love. But she is still under the control of Enchantress, who is also under the control of Amanda Waller because Amanda Waller holds Enchantress's heart. Sounds more confusing, but it only sounds that way. It's really simple. But the whole mission is to actually stop Enchantress now. She's gotten free, gone psycho, and trying to destroy the world. A little bit different from what I thought it was going to be, with the Joker trying to cause some trouble because the Joker is so prominent in like posters and everything, but it's really the mission is to stop Enchantress. I didn't put too much emphasis on other characters because it's very simple. El Diablo had a family and he can't control his fire, so in his argument he accidentally killed them. Slipknot, now you could tell he was gonna die right away, just the way the movie wrote it. As soon as he got out of a vehicle, a female officer actually opens the door and says something snarky to him, like, here goes, scumbag, or something like that. Bad idea. Never insult the criminal while he's unchained and you're holding a door for him. Why? Because she ends up getting punched by him. So, yeah, him punching a woman, we're supposed to automatically not like him. I don't know too much about the character Slipknot either, so what I understand is he's dealt with Wonder Woman quite a bit. But they recruited him because his ability is He can climb on any surface. All right. Well, I don't know what that means. I mean, I guess a toddler can do the same thing too. I don't think that's really worth mentioning. But yeah, just basically, the team is now assembled and they have their costumes together, and they become Suicide Squad. And Battery's about to die, so I don't even know if there's a plug here. Let's see how far I can go. Yeah, the climax of the movie actually starts a quarter in, and what happens now is Enchantress has become her true form, fully developed. She's recruited her ancient brother to take over someone else's body. He serves as a bodyguard. And the Suicide Squad goes in to the city of Midway City. Comic book fans know that it's the city of Hawkman and Hawkgirl, but I'm not sure if they exist because why are they not saving the city? And as they go through, Enchantress sends hordes of soldiers made out of regular people that she's transformed into putties from the Power Rangers. That's what they look like in the dark. So they fight. Slipknot, after the fight, tries to escape through the advice of Captain Boomerang. It's almost like he was daring Slipknot to escape, just to see what would happen. Now, the thing about Suicide Squad, the whole lore of it, is that they are sent on a mission. And if they succeed in a mission, they get time off their sentence. If they fail, they'll be used as the scapegoats and probably will die in the mission. If they try to escape, Amanda Waller or Rick Flag will detonate a bomb that's implanted into all their heads and blow that criminal's head off. So, like a dummy, Slipknot tries to escape by climbing up a wall. Even though it's not really climbing, he's just using a grappling hook. But sure enough, his head is blown off. And then they keep walking. It's like Jai Courtney. I'm sorry. It's like Captain Boomerang was just really daring him just so he can test what would happen. Now, they go into one building, all of them, all the Suicide Squad. They go into one building, they climb up some stairs. Harley Quinn looks down, and it reminds her of a story of when the Joker took her to the chemical vats with the same Access Chemicals where the Joker was created. And okay. And we're here because I am so professional. Yeah, no, my battery died and I actually had to get going on some errands, so I couldn't wait for the battery to charge. Yeah, so I am just going to continue with this review and just wrap it up, alright? So, yeah, as Harley Quinn and the rest of the Suicide Squad are walking up the stairs, she looks down the flight of stairs, and it reminds her of her trip to Access Chemicals with the Joker. Of course, you know, that's the most common mythology of Jokers. He was created by falling into a vat of chemicals. So in this flashback sequence, it shows the Joker in his very best, actually. See, Jared Leto Joker, he actually kind of messes with Harleen Quinzel's mind. Just kind of asks her, you know, would she die with him? She says, die with him. No, he asked if she would die for him. She says yes. Continues and says that's not good enough, and asked would she live for him. Confuses her, but she says yes, and then she falls backwards into the vat of chemicals. And this is a very beautiful part on Jared Leto's behalf of the Joker. He proceeds to turn away from the, catwalk, from the ledge, and he's about to let her drown. But you can see the expression on his face, kind of like a, all right, like he just has that second hesitation thought, and he turns around and he jumps in the chemical after her and saves her. I thought that was actually a rare, beautiful moment we rarely see in the Joker. That's kind of done a rare, beautiful moment we rarely see in the Joker. But it does show like a genuine side. Now cut back to today's time. The Suicide Squad makes it to the top of the building, and they discover that their rescue mission is actually to save Amanda Waller. Before, she had just previously shown up as like a video giving them their mission, but this time it turns out that she's actually trapped in a building and needed help. Now, we see Amanda Waller be very vicious, very herself from the comics, by taking out her gun and shooting all the agents that are also trapped with her. Like I said, Amanda Waller is very heartless. She's more about the mission than anything else. So they save her, they go to the rooftop, and as Amanda Waller is expecting her helicopter to come for her, it turns out the Joker has hijacked that helicopter and he starts open firing on everyone. And this is his chance to save Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is ready to abandon her team, and she jumps on a rope, and the Joker takes off with the helicopter with her swinging away from the building. Amanda Waller tells Deadshot to open fire on her, fire his one shot, and if he hits her or succeeds in hitting her, he can have custody of his daughter. Now, this is a very interesting moment because, as great as it would be for Deadshot to have his daughter back like he wants, he knows what's right and wrong. So he opened fires, and it looks like Harley Quinn's knocked out, or shot and dead. She's just hanging there. Then she pops back up and laughs, and Deadshot looks at Amanda Waller and says, "Missed," even though he's Deadshot and he's not one to miss. She gets up to the helicopter where the Joker is, and the helicopter is hit by a missile, and the helicopter begins to go down. Harley Quinn falls out of the helicopter onto a rooftop, and she watches as her love crashes in the helicopter. Another beautiful moment afterwards is when everyone comes back down to the ground. You see Harley Quinn sitting on top of a police car. It's raining. She's taking off her necklace that says "Puddin" on it, and she begins to cry. Like, she's very defeated in this moment. She lost the man she loves. It's almost like, what does she have left? And she's just really depressed and hurt and everything. And the moment she sees the rest of the Suicide Squad, she puts on a fake smile and acts like she was waiting for them all along. And that was just a moment of levity for me, because, like, despite her very sad, depressed moment, she's still trying to put on a show. Of course, Deadshot and the others, they see it as a ruse, and but they don't call her out on it. They just say, "Come with us." Like they just invite her back into the group, and I really liked that. Amanda Waller is captured by Enchantress's henchmen, and in that moment, Deadshot finds the folder from Rick Flag, and it shows everything that's revealed. It shows uh, why Rick Flag's so concerned about getting Enchantress, and it's because Enchantress is harvesting the body of the woman he loves. So it's more of a mission for him than anything else. And of course, Deadshot gets mad at that. The Suicide Squad just give up and they don't care anymore. They decide to go to a bar, knowing Rick Flag can just blow their heads off with their microchips, and they just don't care. I'm not sure why they were upset about this. They knew, you know, that Amanda Waller and all of them were up to like something like an alternative motive, but you know, so it can't be like that big of a shock. But nonetheless, they sit in a bar. They have a moment where they talk about, you know, like their lives. Diablo talks about his family, how he accidentally killed them. Harley Quinn gives this whole like speech about you know, like people who are ugly on the inside and on the outside, blah blah blah. Rick Flag comes in, destroys the detonator, so you know no one has to worry about their heads exploding, and then at that moment, Captain Boomerang gets up and he walks out. So that's cool, but in the next scene, after everyone has their fine will save the day moment, without any explanation or whatever, Captain Boomerang's back in the group. This movie has a lot of scenes that were badly edited. Not as bad as mine, where I'm switching locations, but, you know, they're not running out of batteries. So, they reach Enchantress. They send Killer Croc underneath into the sewers with a bomb. And El Diablo fights the big monster that Enchantress's brother is. And El Diablo has this really interesting moment. I get what the writer was trying to go for, but it's where he goes and says, "This is my family, you don't hurt them." You know, the cliche routine. And that's nice, you know, he made himself a surrogate family, but keep in mind, in this movie's relation, they've probably known each other for like a day now. So, you know, a little bit too forced. But he gets into his, you know, fierce, fiery monster mode and is trapped with the monster and blown up with a C4. You also see in this moment beforehand, Enchantress tries to lure the Suicide Squad into joining her by promising them a fantasy world that they've always wanted. El Diablo could have had his family. Harley Quinn, it shows her, very interestingly enough, it shows her with living a suburban type of family home life. She has curlers in her hair, she's holding a baby, there's another child in a high chair, and it even has the Joker alive, but he's not the Joker, he's Jared Leto. No makeup, just a normal life. I'll accept it for the movie purposes because, you know, she's a lovelorn type of girl. but Harley Quinn is supposed to be crazy, so I don't see how she could really want that, but I don't know, maybe it's just some kind of like a really deep meaning under all the facade. Uh, Shows Deadshot's fantasy of him defeating Batman by shooting him. And, you know, tracing back to that whole alley scene with the little girl. But Deadshot knows it's all fake, and they all know it's fake, so they just continue the battle with Enchantress. It's very anticlimactic. She just sends, monsters and attacks, and that's all we get. She is ultimately defeated. She had the heart because she had captured Amanda Waller and had the heart. So, actually not even sure why, though, because she had the heart already. She had already bamfed in and grabbed the heart, so still not sure why she captured Amanda Waller, but she had the heart, so Harley Quinn does the routine where she walks up to her, looks like she's about to switch sides again, and really she's just grabbing Katana's sword from the ground and slashes the heart and kills Enchantress. And the day is saved. At the end, it looks like the June is dead as well, and Rick Flag is sad, but then you see that June is actually just like alive, but breaks out of this like encrusted tomb. And this is very similar to Ghostbusters, the 1984 version, because it's like Enchantress is like Gozer. She's defeated, and Dana Barrett is broken out of the statue of the dead Zulhound. So it's almost similar to that. Amanda Waller's alive, June's alive, and in the end, everyone gets a reduced sentence. It shows people getting like small little things given to them, like Harley Quinn gets a cappuccino maker or something like that, and all Captain Boomerang gets is 10 years off his sentence, even though he's serving a triple life sentence. Deadshot gets to see his daughter one last time before he's taken off, and kind of a sad moment. He's doing homework with his daughter, showing her math, and Rick Flag is waiting for him so he can take him to the prison. And at the very end, it shows Harley Quinn sipping her cappuccino, and bam! Explosion. SWAT disguised SWAT, opened fires on the guards, and it turns out the Joker is alive and he's breaking Harley Quinn out, and that's how the movie ends. And there is a mid-credit scene. Not end credits, just mid-credits, so you don't have to stay for the whole thing. Now, I'll get to the mid-credit scene, but let me just talk about the movie as a whole. It's a decent movie. Not better than decent. I really loved it. Maybe I'm a little biased. I am DC, but I have loved many Marvel movies. I will say this is one of the better DC movies I've seen in a while. I mean, I loved Man of Steel. I actually really like guilty pleasure. I loved Batman vs. Superman, but Suicide Squad was actually better than Batman vs. Superman. Maybe Man of Steel as well, but that's a whole different vibe, anyways. So, like I said, Will Smith owns Deadshot. He plays Floyd Lawton very well. Puts life into him. Margot Robbie. She was a fun. Uh, she was a fun Harley Quinn, but a little over sexualized. That's I don't mind, like over sexualized characters. It's just I kind of find it to be pandering, really. Like pandering to the lowest common denominator. Because when Harley Quinn was introduced to us, she was never really sexualized. She had that like jester type of outfit, black and red. Oh, there is a moment in a movie too where it shows Harley Quinn in her like original outfit, dancing with the Joker, wearing a tuxedo, and it's supposed to be mirroring the Alex Ross picture, very infamous. Um, but no, she made the part very well. She did everything great. The accent wasn't like Arlene Sorkin, cartoonish Brooklyn accent, but she had a Brooklyn accent. It just was more of your natural, believable Brooklyn accent. Um, and then you have Jai Courtney, forgive me if I'm butchering the name. I liked him in this movie. I did. I do not like the actor very much. I don't know. He just to me doesn't really have personality, or like I feel like he drags a movie down. I've seen him ruin some good franchises, and they keep trying to make him a thing. Uh, he ruined to me. He ruined the Die Hard series. I hated A Good Day to Die Hard because the movie surrounded him. He played John McClane's son, Jack, and it was really no life in that character. Same thing with Terminator Genesis, and even in like Transformers 4. I mean, the Transformer movies are far from great. In fact, they're far from good. Um, they have few moments, but Transformers 4 was just awful. And he played the young girl's boyfriend who was in his 20s, and she's like, a teenager. It's like he finds a way to go into the movie franchises we like and just ruin it. Suicide Squad, he played Captain Boomerang well. He did. He made him entertaining. My question is more of a complaint about the writing, though. Like the character writing. Like, you see him drinking beer in the middle of the action scenes. Okay, fine. Australian stereotype, whatever. What I don't understand, and if you are like a Flash fan and know better than me, please correct me, but he's carrying around like this stuffed unicorn. And I'm just wondering why. Like, is that supposed to be a sexual thing, or is it a character quirkiness? Because I know for like when they had it on Deadpool, same gimmick, it was because it was a sexual fetish for Deadpool. So I really did not understand what they were going with this. Uh, El Diablo, he was a likable character up until we learned why he was a criminal. And then afterwards, it just became more whiny. Like, at first, he was very apprehensive to fight because he was afraid of the damage he can do. But then once he became comfortable with it, he just, I don't know, it just wasn't really likable for me. It was more whiny than anything. Katana, she needed more screen time. Uh, the actress did very well. She captured the emotion. She just didn't need to be there. Like, there was no purpose for Katana to have arrived. Rick Flag, I did not like his character. He was always in danger. Always needed help, and he couldn't save Enchantress himself. Um, Killer Croc did a very good job. He didn't speak much, and that's fine. It's Killer Croc. You're not really going to be asking for like a lot of Shakespearean monologues from him, so that was not a big deal. In fact, with Killer Croc, thank you for not making him CGI, and thank you for giving him like good makeup. That was a huge improvement. Amanda Waller, Viola Davis nailed the role. She's the best live action Amanda Waller I've ever seen. The Amanda Waller they had on Arrow, I never cared for her. Amanda Waller in the Green Lantern movie was just really watered down. And I'm glad Green Lantern does not exist. Not well, at least the movie does not exist in the same world. And I'm glad they kept Amanda Waller alive because we need to see more of her. I might have said something about Cadmus, but Cadmus is a sub-organization within Argus that Amanda Waller runs. So if I said Cadmus earlier, I apologize. Joker, Jared Leto, it's unfair for me to compare him because the way I look at certain villains, everyone has their own way of playing them. And that might sound like a cop-out, but every actor who played the Joker was representing the Joker that's appropriate at its time. So, like, take for example, Cesar Romero. He played a Joker in a show that was a spoof on Batman in the 1960s. But for the 60s time era and the Joker we had represented in the comics and it being kid-friendly, he did a great job. Obvious mustache and all. Jack Nicholson Joker. Well, let's face it, it's just Jack Nicholson wearing makeup, but there's a reason why he was casted as the Joker. And this was fresh right after The Dark Knight Returns. So it all fits. And that Joker, of course, defined what the Joker would be for the longest time. Heath Ledger Joker, he played a new version of the Joker we'd never seen before. He reinvented the character. Kind of more of a meth addict, really. And then you have Jared Leto Joker. He was more of your modern day gangster kind of Joker. I didn't care for the design, but it starts to grow after a while. Like I said, it's the rare few moments of Jared Leto, like through expression and everything he presented in the few moments of the Joker that made him great. Now, I know this movie had a lot of editing done, a lot of scenes, a lot of Joker taken out. And the fan who's trying to sue Warner Brothers for like misleading the audience, you're an idiot. Yeah, I know there are bigger problems in the world. Don't complain about not getting enough Joker. Besides, okay, so I will say this. Maybe there are moments where like Joker should have been shown. Like there were like still photos of like Joker half burnt, but I felt like that would have just written someone in the corner if they kept with that. Uh, I'm glad actually there was less of the Joker. Really am, because this was not a Joker movie. This was Suicide Squad. It was about Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and everyone else. The Joker was just a side character to add to the tension. I know the posters and the trailers make it look like he was going to be the big villain, but I'm glad for what it was. And I look forward to seeing him more in other films. Could you imagine if we had too much of a good thing? Like, could you imagine, God bless him, Heath Ledger was still alive and we had the Joker in a third Dark Knight movie? That would have been oversaturation. It would have been like when we saw Jack Sparrow the first time, we loved him, but by the time the second movie came out, we hated him because it was just too much. That's exactly what would have happened if they kept giving us more and more Joker. So you gotta pace yourself sometimes when it comes to good things like that. Yeah, the editing is obvious, but I still enjoyed the film as was. What I don't like about the internet is the internet likes to hype up things that are not there, especially when you find out about certain celebrities who are in the movie. For example, Ike Barinholtz was announced he was going to be in a movie. No one knew what he was. People were coming up with random speculation of like Dr. Hugo Strange of Arkham Asylum, who oversees patients but corrupt on his own. And it turned out that he was just more of a corrupt prison guard that actually worked through the Joker. That's all. He gave Harley Quinn the cell phone so the Joker can communicate through her, through the phone to her throughout the whole entire movie. And then Scott Eastwood, like his father, Clint, good actor, but he was actually nothing more like than a soldier working for Rick Flag, like second in command. Didn't see too much of him. He was just there in random spots. Everyone speculated he was going to be Wilson Slade, Deathstroke. But no, just a background soldier. So internet, please just shut up when it comes to like coming up with these rumors. You almost had me. You almost had me, but like at this point, I'm gonna been lied to through a few movies. Now, like I said, there is a mid-credit scene, and in that mid-credit scene, we're back at the same restaurant with Amanda Waller. She loves that restaurant. The people must love seeing her there. And she's sharing some information about people with meta-human abilities. And she's sharing that information with Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck. So it's very Marvel-esque crossover right there, like a lead-in. You know the Justice League is coming. That's not a hidden factor. But I love this scene because they captured the Amanda Waller and Batman relationship. They're not necessarily going to go after each other, but they don't trust one another either. And they're ready to kick ass if they have to. And there's a moment as Bruce Wayne's about to leave, Amanda Waller says something to the point of how he spends his nights, alluding to the fact that she knows he's Batman. And then he counteracts with a threat of like, we'll be coming for you or something like that. Sorry, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. Like a week. But that's the relationship of Batman and Amanda Waller. They'll work together because they have a common goal of preserving peace in the world. Amanda Waller is more of the country, but they have missions. However, they don't get along either, so they're ready to attack if one tries to make a bad move. Very tense scene right there, and that brief moment actually captured it very well. Like I said, I liked the movie. I was worried in the beginning because the beginning of the movie, within the first 10 minutes, they crammed like 3 songs into it, like without giving us a moment to separate the music in our mind. It's just bam. And for every character that was profiled, it showed or it played a different song. Oh, I did forget to mention this though. It was pointed out to me in an Easter egg after I saw the movie. But in Harley Quinn's profile, when they show it on the screen, it's very brief. They don't give you much time to read it. It shows that Harley Quinn admitted that she murdered Robin. Because if you remember from Batman vs. Superman, they show a Robin outfit, and it has graffiti all over it, ha ha ha, and all that. In the comics, the Joker killed, or seemingly killed, Jason Todd Robin, but it looks like in this universe, it's Harley Quinn that did it. Now, I want to see how this plays out, and I'm hoping for the Batman solo movie, they're going to dig deeper into this, because when we see the flashback of Batman going after the Joker and Harley Quinn, it didn't seem like he had a vendetta against her. But, like I said, we got to see how it plays out. Ultimately, I'm just going to go ahead and say that I'm going to give this movie a B-. It could have had better pacing and more fleshed out characters and dialogue, but for what was presented to us, it was actually pretty good. And it does not deserve the hate that the internet gives it. I'm not one of the people to go after Rotten Tomatoes and demand that they get taken down, but I really do feel like they were just being biased. I don't believe any reviews until I see the movie myself, and you should actually do the same thing. Just take my words as a grain of salt. Because I do believe everyone, including Rotten Tomatoes, is entitled to their opinion. Freedom of speech. However, you should never use your freedom of speech to invoke hate out of others. You should never try to force people to hate on something or someone because you don't agree with it. So, with that, I'm just going to say Suicide Squad B-. I'm sorry that the video has been put out late. I've just been going through a lot this week with work and moving. It's just been, and running out of batteries, and just everywhere I've been, just not enough hours in a week. So again, I apologize. I did say I was going to release videos later in the week to match up with movies that are popular. I'm not going to see every movie, but I'll do my best. And I did follow through. I was just a week late about Suicide Squad. So thank you for watching. Some more Anthonyx Maximus will be coming your way. And look out for some other videos I have going on. Thank you very much, and have a good day.